Welcome to the Kansas Department of Agriculture Animal Facilities Inspection Program Learning Module. This module will cover the compatible grouping and separation requirements for the different facilities holding an Animal Facilities Inspection Program license in the state of Kansas. Before we get into those specific requirements, it is important to understand the broader framework they come from. All Kansas licensed pet animal facilities must follow the Kansas Pet Animal Act statutes and regulations adopted thereunder, which I'll collectively refer to as KPAA. These requirements establish the minimum standards necessary to maintain compliance. Failure to comply may result in enforcement action, including civil penalties, license suspension, license revocation, and other legal consequences. Because of this, licensees are responsible for understanding and following these requirements. A complete copy of the KPAA in one single PDF file that consolidates all Kansas Pet Animal Act statutes and regulations is available on the Kansas Department of Agriculture website at www.agriculture.ks.gov/AFI, where it can be downloaded or printed for reference. To get to the document, once on this page, scroll down a short distance to click on the link that contains the words Pet Animal Act underlined. It will look just like the picture on the bottom of this slide. If you are unable to access this website, you may contact our office to request a printed copy. That contact information is included at the end of this presentation. With that foundation in mind, we will begin with a compatible grouping requirement set forth in KAR 9-1815, which applies to all licensees. KAR 9-1815 provides that no licensee shall house any animals in groups that are incompatible, including incompatibility due to age, sexual status, aggressive disposition, breed, species, contagious disease, or any other reason. In other words, animals may only be housed together when doing so is safe and appropriate for their health and welfare. When animals are grouped inappropriately, it can lead to serious issues such as the spread of disease, injury, stress, and harmful behaviors such as aggression, fighting, resource guarding, and others. To help illustrate this, some examples of incompatible groupings include healthy animals housed with animals that have an illness or disease that is infectious or can spread, smaller animals housed with larger animals, young animals housed with unrelated adult animals, intact females housed with intact males of breeding age when breeding is not intended, any animal exhibiting aggressive behavior housed with any other animal, different species of animals housed together. These examples are not exhaustive. Ultimately, licensees are expected to evaluate compatibility based on the specific animals involved. If there is uncertainty, consultation with the veterinarian or the AFI program is appropriate. Now we are going to turn to a more specific requirement regarding separation by sex. Unlike compatible grouping, this requirement does not apply to all licensees. Instead, it applies specifically to all animal shelters, rescue networks, and pet animal foster homes. KAR 9-1816 requires that all sexually intact adult animals be housed separately from sexually intact animals of the opposite sex. To understand how this applies in practice, it is important to note that under KAR 9-18-4B, an animal is considered an adult at 4 months of age. So, once a dog or cat reaches 4 months of age, if it has not been spayed or neutered, it must not be housed with an intact animal of the opposite sex. This is a clear, mandatory requirement intended to prevent unintended breeding and reduce pet overpopulation. Finally, to wrap up, please remember that both compatible grouping and separation requirements are core components of compliance under the Kansas Pet Animal Act. If you have questions about how these requirements apply to your facility, please contact your inspector. If you need a printed copy of the Kansas Pet Animal Act mailed to you, contact your office at the phone number or email on the screen. Thank you for completing this training module.